Hello everyone, my name is Anders. In this video, I'll show you how to replace your motor for your STRØM City e-bike. Choose appropriate clothing in order to get your hands dirty. And remember, I've done this many times, you only have to do it once. The first step is to remove the rear hub motor cable. This is done by unzipping the zip ties placed here, here and here. Then you unscrew the smart wire placed right here. Then you need to take off the bolts placed right here and on the opposite side of the wheel over here. Now we need to take off the rear wheel. This is done by pushing back the gear shifter and pulling out the wheel gently. Let me show you how it's done. To take off the rear wheel, simply grab a 17mm wrench and unscrew the two bolts. Take off the rubber cap placed right here. Take out the rear wheel by pulling back the gear shifter while the kickstand is out, like so. Now that we have the wheel out, take it to a table or a flat surface. First, we need to remove the 6 screws placed here, 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 here and here with either a Phillips screwdriver or a Torx 20. It depends on your bike. Let's get started. These can get quite hard to get out, so put some weight in and just screw it gently. Now that we have removed the 6 screws from this side, turn the wheel around and place it upside down. Grab a 17mm wrench and remove this screw. Sometimes it can be done with the hands, but sometimes you need the wrench. Now you have removed the 6 screws over here and the bolt over here. You simply grab a rubber hammer or a normal hammer, but preferably one made of rubber. And then you hit it gently on the side, on the opposite side of where the cable comes out, like this. And as you see, the motor comes apart. Put down the wheel and place the motor somewhere convenient. Normally the clutch sitting in here comes out with the motor, but in my case it didn't. So simply tilt the wheel gently and hit it with the rubber hammer. Then it comes out in my palm, right here. Now we're ready to put in the new motor. It will look something like this. Maybe the clutch is on, maybe it isn't. If it isn't on, grab the clutch from the old bike, from the old motor, sorry, and then put it back on like this. There's a little nut that needs to align with the hole in the clutch. So now it's reattached. Put on the little gold looking ring and place it right here. Now we're ready to put back the motor in the housing. Grab the wheel once again and put it back in. You need to push it a little bit to get it back in. Take the O-ring that came apart when disassembling the wheel and put it back on. Then take the nut and put it back in place. And just tighten it softly. Now turn the wheel around. Grab the 6 screws from before and screw them back in with a Phillips screwdriver or a Torx 20. You have to do one screw over here and then the other screw on the opposite side to spread out the pressure evenly. I'm not tightening the screws down all the way. I will do that later on. Now that all the screws are almost in, tighten them as shown before with doing one side and then the opposite side. And you have to do it more than once on every screw. Now we need to turn around the wheel, because this one needs to be tightened once again. Grab a 10mm wrench and a 17mm wrench, the 10mm to do some counter pressure on the bolt right here, and then tighten this up as well. We have just reassembled the motor and we are now ready to take the wheel back to the bike and reassemble it all. Put back in the wheel by pulling the gear shifter backwards. Make sure that the disc brake align with the brake pads. For both sides of the wheel, start out with this part. Then take the little O-ring, and lastly the nut. Let me show you how it's done. Make sure that this is placed all the way in here. Then take the little nut like this and put it in with the pointy tip pointing into the bike. Then take the little O-ring and place it afterwards. And lastly, the little nut. Do the same thing for the opposite side of the wheel. Now tighten the bolts with a 17mm wrench again. Remember to put the rubber cap back on. Simply pull through the wire . Now it's time to put back in the smart wire. Simply plug them back together and screw it back on. Now we simply need to put on some zip ties again to secure the cable. Now grab a side cutter and cut off the remaining parts of the zip ties. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy your bike. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.